So I'm going to show you my haul that I got for $10 from the video that you would have just watched, hopefully. And if you haven't already watched it, go back and watch the thrifting video that I just did. These are the results. What I actually did, and this is to show people how they can start selling on eBay or online, Depop, eBay, without incurring any money out of their personal budget. So what I basically did was I took in quite a few boxes of empty cans, aluminium cans, to the recycler, and for my trouble I got $32.90 cash. And that's what I used to go and buy this with. And I'm going to track the results and also going to do some more thrifting because I had the $32.90 and out of that I only spent $10. So, pretty impressive and got lots of stuff, I might add. And my apologies for the last couple of videos. I realised today when I was setting the video up for this that for some reason the point of view that my GoPro was working on, it was doing a long skinny one instead of doing the wide shot. And that was why a lot of the times I thought I was getting people's heads in or getting things a bit higher up and stuff in, and I was missing it all because it was on long. Don't know how that worked, but anyway, it's all fixed now. So I'm going to start with these are the bags and belts, purses, belts that I got. And I'm going to find my little piece of paper here that I'm making a note on. There are 9 things out of this lot that I got. So the first one is the green bag here at the back, which you can see here, which is quite lovely. I believe it's been handmade, going by the interior and from what I can see of the stitching. But it's still quite lovely. The fabrics are really nice. It looks relaxed. It's a nice sort of, you know, boho sort of indie looking tote with the little beads and everything on the top. So I grabbed that, and this little blue purse here, which has got this sort of little bow detail type thing and a rope handle, little zipper lock, turned out to be a little cotton bag from Country Road. It is grubby. I'm going to chuck it in the wash, and I reckon that should come up all right. So I did get that. And I got this cat bag because I don't actually really usually comp when I'm thrifting, but I saw that, I thought, possibility, people like cats, and I comped it. This does look reasonably unused. However, it's not new because I picked it up in a thrift store. So they're going new for about $39. So I think I should be able to sort of get, you know, I'll start at around $24 or something for that. And it's like a knitting tote type bag, and I think that one will do all right. Then I was only able to get 2 actual leather belts. Both of them have got a bit of age to them. So this first one is a women's belt, and with nice brass, really nice heavy brass buckle there. And it's one of these plaited woven belts. You can see the buckle there. Really nice, and it's actually Jag brand. And it actually says underneath, oops, if we have a really good look, that it's genuine leather, which is always a bonus when something says it's genuine leather. So that should sell pretty well. Those sort of belts usually don't hang around for very long, I find. And it seems to be quite long. I haven't measured it yet, but it does seem to be quite long, which is, again, always a good thing. And then the men's belt. Now, this is a men's dress belt, and it is Australian made by the company Buckle in New South Wales. It is a size 34 to 87 black. From, like, looking at it like this, it actually looks pretty smicko. It does have a little issue though, so that will reduce the cost a little bit, in that there is some cracking here where it's been put into the buckle pin, and I'd say what's happened is it's quite stiff, and I'd say it's never been conditioned or looked after, so it has cracked. And yeah, which is a bit unfortunate, but anyway, I'll give it a couple of rounds of leather conditioner and we'll see what happens with that one. Then we've got these wallets. Here we go. So the first one's quite cute and interesting, and this is just a little kid's wallet, but it is a Felix the Cat, and it says copyright 1988, Felix the Cat Productions, King Features Syndicate. It's just a little vinyl sort of thing. You know, we'll see how it goes. It'll probably go okay on Depop anyway, but I'm not sure whether this is something that's new or whether this is an 80s thing, but yeah, quite cute, I thought. The next one I got was this really nice vintage leather burgundy purse. And this one is in pretty good condition. So it's got the card section in the back, press studs of course, which gives it a little bit of a hint of the age. The brand is Leathercraft, and it's got some little slits here, see-through pockets for your driver's license, etc. there, and then lots of little compartments in there. It's got a little zipper one there, and more and more and more compartments. So that one's pretty good. Then I picked this one up, which this one's really nice leather, lovely stitching. The quality of the leather on this is great, and this is an Elwood brand. Now, it's Elwood apparel. It's ringing bells for me. I just can't place whether I've had something leather from them before. I'm almost thinking it might have been a hat, but maybe I had, but then I'm not entirely sure. But I do believe it's a good brand. It's got some little card slots there. It's obviously just a little easy, you know, small wallet, men's sort of wallet, or unisex really, that you can just slip in your pocket. But yeah, really nice quality, that one. Now, there were two I ummed and ahed over. You may have noticed in the previous video, the Jimmy Choo. Look, the trouble with Jimmy Choo is it is so often faked. And so there was one at Odeon when I was there last, and then there was that one that was there. It wasn't in great condition. If it had perhaps been in a bit more smicko condition, I might have actually brought it home with me, but I left it there. But I did pick up this one. Now, look, this is a bit out of my usual range of purses, but it does say that it's a Chanel, and it's got the little logo there, and it says, if I can get it to show, and it does have Chanel, which is like embossed into the leather. It's quite nice leather too, which also made me think the stitching is all very nice and even, which is always something to look at. And when you open it up now, the red flags and why I'm not sure of it, for me, are the pressed studs, but maybe it's a standard sort of leather one, I don't know. It doesn't look anything fantastic. And then you open it up, and it's got the little card slots here with the identity thing there, more card slots, and a little zipper thing there. Now, the other red flag for me, which made me query it, and look, it does have a little bit of damage here in the corner, but, you know, hey, I'll just make it a good price, is this little pocket here is just a vinyl sort of, or a nylon type of thing. So I'm not, you know, there's nothing special about that. There's nothing special about the ring pull. So that gives me concern. However, then you get to this bit, which again on the bottom here, it's embossed, and it does have the little symbol embossed in, and then it says Chanel and it says Paris. I've never had one, so I don't know what even a good fake looks like. But one of the main reasons I brought it home is when you actually look in the interior, this again is beautiful, beautiful leather, and it's got the Chanel Paris logo embossed in there. But that leather is absolutely gorgeous, and is possibly ostrich, I'm going to have a guess at. But yeah, really, really nice. That was the main reason I picked it up. Well, so we'll just have to wait and see on that one. Right, I shall be back with the clothes. Now, I was pretty picky. I could have got a lot of other lower end stuff, of course, and probably still paid the same price, but I didn't want to bring all that stuff home. So jeans, sadly, there were only 2 pair that I picked up. They aren't, you know, anything super ooper, but they aren't bad either. There are 13 clothing items altogether. So I really hate it when the shops fold the jeans like so, because it looks so ugly, honestly, when they do that. But anyway, these are 2 pair of Katie's, and they're just the pull-on jeans style. They are, where did I see, made in Bangladesh. So they are older ones. Yeah, both made in Bangladesh. I'd say they're probably from about the same period. So there's one pair which is just like your, you know, tapered leg, and then this pair is more of a straight with a slight, maybe boot cut. It's not much of an angle, but there's a little angle there. So yeah, so that was those 2. And I can usually get somewhere from, you know, 16 to 24 for these. I've always got the option, of course, of putting these 2 together because they are exactly the same brand and the same size, and I may do that because I'll definitely be able to get more for this pair of boot cut than I will for the other ones. So undecided. Right, so the next one is this strange looking thing. It is an unusual looking top. Now the bottom has this elasticated bit there, and it's got there's little things that make me think it's older, in that it's got bias binding around the armholes, and then the neck actually ties up at the side, and which creates this ruffle there, and the fabric's quite natural sort of fabric. I'm probably going to say it's probably viscose, but there is no fabric care tag. The brand is Core, and it's a size large. So yeah, that one will be an interesting one. Whether that's a good brand or not remains to be seen. The next one will be going in the wash. Yeah, there's a couple of marks on it up here. I may even try sponging them out. Oh no, it can be hand washed, so that's fine. So I will, because this is a beautiful vintage skirt, absolutely gorgeous fabric and fully lined. The quality of this fabric is great, and you know, it's very, you can date it with no waistband there. The stitching is really well done. It's got a lovely blind zipper in the back, which is good. And it is vintage Vedusi, made in Australia, size 14. And it is made from cotton, nylon, spandex, and the lining is polyester. Now, given that it is made of cotton, it's probably maybe a higher end one, because, you know, it's not polyester. Now, it has got a lovely stretch to it, and I might add, back in the 80s, it used to drive me nuts because they would line skirts and they would make the skirt out of a stretch fabric, but then they would just put normal lining material in that had no stretch. And if the lining doesn't stretch, well, the skirt's not going to stretch, is it? This, however, does seem to have, not much, but may have a little bit of stretch to it. I think I can see why now that I'm looking at it this way. So what they've actually done is the front panel only, the back hasn't got stretch to it, but the front panel only, for sewers, you will understand this has been cut on the bias, which then allows that to have some stretch. So I'm going to say this is made from a quality place, because little things like that, to do that. Because, you know, I mean, when you cut stuff on the biased, there's a lot more fabric wastage. So hopefully I'll be able to get the little marks out. Just a little stain there. So yeah, because that's really nice. I would have worn that back in the day. The next one is another little vintage sort of a top. It's a little very lightweight jersey, very soft, with a cowl neck, and it's sleeveless with these little ruffles, cute little ruffles around the sleeves, and it has got a bit of lace that goes across the back to help keep it in shape. And the brand of this one is Delita, size large. Now this one's made in Vietnam, and it's kind of semi-fitted a little bit with the little panels there, so yeah, with a floral design. So this is a gorgeous little smock top with short sleeves with a ruffle and this gorgeous embroidery on it. And then the material itself has got sort of an Aztec pattern to it as well. And this is Little Birdie told me. Yeah, gorgeous embroidery, I thought. And it is a size small, made in India. Like that one. This is the back, but this is a little Caroline Morgan little bolero cardigan. Didn't have a size on it, but her stuff usually goes well anyway. I thought this was really cute. The brand is Philo. I have sold stuff of this brand before, and it does actually sell quite okay for me. So there are people that like it. This is probably one of the nicer things I've seen of theirs. Usually I get t-shirts that have got embroidery on them or something. It's a size large, but it's just got little cap sleeves with this gorgeous ruffle going around the front. And the ruffle is kept all nice, because if you actually have a look close up, hope that's showing up, that is fishing line. So I will have to do a little bit of snipping with that, and it's nice and sheer, so nice for a hot summer's day, I have to say. Next up is this nice little tunic, 3/4 sheer sleeves, jeans vest, pretty little geometric pattern. That's all nice lightweight jersey, jeans vest size small there, little zipper up the back, and it's got the little high-low, hopefully you'll be able to see that, a little bit on the back as well. Bread and butter. The next one is the same. This is a Liz Jordan These are bread and butter for me. They do sell. People love the florals and things that they have. I'm never surprised when I see something like this and then I look at the label and it's Liz Jordan. So this is a size 14, quite sheer, high-low. Then there was this one. I got this one mainly because of the fabric. The fabric is really nice quality. It's very heavy. It does have a slight stretch to it, and it's like a little crochet knitted type deal, and it's got peplum sort of style, and it is quite fitted, as you can see with the darts and things there. Hidden zipper in the back again, and this is the brand Saba, and this is a size 8. So it's small size, but I felt the quality of the fabric was enough to encourage me to bring it home. This is a lovely little piece of vintage Australian clothing. It's just a really nice semi-fitted button-up blouse, a really cute floral pattern, as you can see, with just buttons, little elbow length sleeves there, and this brand is Innovair, size 12, and I'm pretty sure this is a cotton. Stretch cotton. It has got a bit of stretch to it. Yeah, so it's a cotton elastane blend made in Australia. Love to see that on the labels, especially when they're nice. And look, I'm going to say, this little floral design is something that's not going to date. You know, you could dress that up and dress that down with a pair of, jeans, have it open at the front with a singlet or a cami underneath, and then, or dress it up with a smart skirt for the office. It's just my thought. Then, final bit of clothing was probably the best one score of the day. Look, sometimes I can go in there and I can get lots of great, more designer label stuff. Sometimes I go in there and there's bugger all. They do get a lot of stuff, source a lot of stuff from Melbourne, from estates and stuff. You never know what you're going to find, and it's just a matter of going through. As you saw, I went through every rack. This is a lovely little striped jumper with black, pink and white, and the glitter in the pink, and a little button detail at the top with a little scoop neck, and the brand is Review, size 16. I don't pick up a lot of Review around my area. It's sort of a bit high end for people that live around here. Not saying that I'm low end, but I'm just saying it's not a brand that a lot of people that live here wear. It is a viscose blend, which is nice, with the metallic thread. So yeah, and the condition of it is great. Really, really nice condition. Like, for the most part, it sort of almost looks as if it's hardly been worn, but it does have a few little areas where there's a little bit of rubbing, so there is a little bit of pilling. So I'll just get the handy dandy little depiller out and just give it a nice going over. Oh, look, I tell you what, it does sound like my handy dandy depiller. New year, it may need some new batteries. It's sounding a little sluggish, I have to say, but yeah, it does a great job. Brings stuff up looking really, really nice. So yeah, I thought that was a nice little find. And I will be back shortly with the books. This is the rest of what I got, and you can see here it's nearly all books apart from a Hot Wheels car, and this is just a Macca's Transformer, but Wyatt and Percy, they both love Transformers, so it'll go in the Macca's toy box, and they love playing with those, and they take them home, and I just keep putting more and more in the box, and one day I'll sort them out and I'll probably be able to sell collections of Macca's toys. Who knows? Oh, and there's this beautiful little hand-painted salt and pepper shaker, which I did point out in the thrifting video. These are signed by M. Woodhouse, 1996. So that's those ones. Now, so all in all, that makes 33 items. And if you add those to the other items that I've already shown you, that gives us a total of 55 items. And if I divide $10 by 55, I get the grand total of 18.1 cents. So, yep, I rounded it up to 20 cents. So 20 cents each. Not too shabby, I have to say. Now, these are lovely. You know, I mean, it's not a really well-known artist, so I can't, which is a shame because they're worthy of that. They are beautiful, beautiful little violet design and little gold accent there. I've already got these listed on eBay. So, yep, hopefully, if I just sell these alone, the profit on these would pay for the haul. And then, as I said, I've got the little Transformer guy, and this is just a little Hot Wheels. Same thing with the Hot Wheels. This is not an old one. This is just from 2015. And it's such a shame because these feel so lightweight and plasticky compared to the older ones, but whenever I find a Hot Wheels, especially when it's in a bin going for free, I grab them. I've got a big box of cars here for the boys. And, you know, who knows, I may find some collectible ones in there. So that's that. Now, book-wise, ta-da! A lot of these are just fillers for my existing variation listings. For example, these ones here are Raymond Feist. There is just The King's Buccaneer, which I didn't have, and Rise of a Merchant Prince, which was another one that I didn't have. And they're both from, yeah, that's from the Rift War cycle. That one's from the Serpent War saga. And then this is another Rift War one, Murder in La Motte, which is another one that I didn't have. So I grabbed those. Same thing with the Eddings ones I picked up. Look, there's a couple of these I may have, but these are different covers to the ones I've got, which is why I grabbed them. So just King of the Murgos, Lord Demon of Coranda. They're from the Malorian one, and then these are from the Alenium lot. So we've got the Sapphire Rose. Now these, you know, those other ones are okay, but it's these are what I'm attracted to with this fantastic artwork. This one's unfortunately got a little bit of damage to it, but hey, I wasn't going to pass up that artwork, especially when I didn't already have that one. And then have a look at that Ruby Knight, the Ruby Knight. That's really fantastic artwork there. Put that to the side. Couple of little kids books. Nice little one here. This was in the free box, mind you, and Enid Blyton, which did surprise me. This guy, look, if you did watch the previous video, you would have seen they make their money out of selling the furniture and the bigger value items. He's not too concerned. So if they've got too much stuff for the shelves, it just goes out the front. So this is just a really nice, not scribbled over and stuff, which is a bargain. And yeah, this one's a really cute one. So some of these during a certain period of time don't actually have dates, but we can date it to a certain extent because it does have big ears in it, who no longer is in a lot of them stories, but it also has the gollywog. So that tells us something, because we do have those, which I think the gollywog in the modern books may be replaced by a panda bear, I reckon. No, it doesn't look like he's in any of the main stories, but there he is again walking down, so it does help date it a bit. I'll have a look because I do know I've got some others that I think are from that same lot, so that should help me work out the age of that. I thought this one was really cute, one I hadn't seen before. It's Tales from Misty Wood, Riverbank Rumpus by Simon Joyner. It's a nice quality book. Printed in Italy, which tells me a little bit about the age. It's from 1984, and the artwork is really, really sweet. Sort of more that classical sort of drawing style. But yeah, quite cute little story, and it's in really good nick for the age. Only two in there that I saw, little golden books. This one hasn't got the little golden bit on the spine, but it is a Disneyland one. It is the Mickey Mouse Club one, printed in Japan, Golden Press, Sydney, and 1968 it says. And then we've got The Happy Little Whale, which is from 1972. So there you go. Then there wasn't much in the novels that I picked. There were loads and loads and loads of paranormal romance type stuff. And I'm going to do a little bit of checking on the price of those because, look, they're selling their books really, really cheap at the moment. So I dare say they want to get rid of a heap more of them. And so I'm going to actually check up the prices, and because they were in really, really nice nick. There's like someone's gotten rid of their whole collection. So I will price check those. And if they're worthwhile, I'm going to go back and get them. But this is the sort of stuff that I will pick up, and this is Sharks and Little Fish, and it's by Wolfgang Ott, and that will give it away a little bit because it is translated from German. And I usually do pretty well on these sort of books. They tend to be quite rare. When they're translated into English, they're not released in, huge numbers. So, they tend to be a little bit rarer. I'm not sure whether that one is. I'm saying all this and it may not be, but we'll see. This is The Wasp Factory by Ian Banks. Just an Abacus book. I don't know. I tend to like the books that they publish. It's the type of stuff that I would read. This is a gothic horror story of quite exceptional quality, macabre, bizarre, and quite impossible to put down. So says the Financial Times. It's in pretty good nick. It is from 1992. It's only a reprint, unfortunately. I wish that was first edition, but it's not. These are just a couple of, again, another filler for some of my variation listings. Insurgent by Veronica Roth isn't worth a huge amount of money, but will go quite well in a variation listing, as will Philip Pullman, The Subtle Knife. And this is an ex-library book, but when you're putting them in variation listings, I do these ones cheaper when they are ex-library than the other ones, because, you know, it's not like it's a, you know, first edition hardcover with a dust jacket. Yeah, but that'll be a good filler, and it's one I haven't got. Yeah, there was just this one which was in really nice condition. Kate McCaffrey, this was in the free box also, Destroying Avalon. Don't know anything about this one, but it does have some little illustrations in there. So yeah, I'll have to check that one out. Maybe it's a young adult fiction, I'm going to say. So I'll check that one out. Then there were these four newer Nancy Drew, and I say newer, but they're from, I think they're the Nancy Drew Diaries, 2013. Yeah, but there was 1, 2, 3, 4 out of that set. These will go into my Nancy Drew variation listing. A Bible. This is just a, you know, regular old Good News Bible with the faux leather cover, which, you know, obviously keeps it nice. It is illustrated. Then a bit of classic sort of stuff, Truman Capote in Cold Blood, and fantastic cover. Again, this is an Abacus book, but yeah, really love the cover on this, so I grabbed that one. Then we've got The Navigators. I've sold this in the regular, but this is actually a large print version, so that one will go pretty quick, by Julia Jones. I did get this as well. This is in really nice condition, and it's about Saxon Britain by Tony Triggs, and it's 1989, a bit of a educational sort of a kids book there. And then a couple of interesting ones. I did pick up this one out of the free box, which is, I was laughing because I did happen to watch Mel's video this morning as she's sorting through her bundles, and she's wanting to get rid of her Wilbur Smiths, and I'm bringing them in, but it was free. It is a first edition. I'm not too bothered how long this sort of stuff does take to sell. I put it up and, you know, keep adjusting the price till I get it to a point where it sells. They often can be in not such great condition too, because they're such heavy books. People tend to be a bit rough with them when they're, not deliberately, but they can be a bit rough with them when they're reading. So then in the other odd bod books, there is this one, which is Catholic Regional College Melton, 40 Years in the Making. Now, this was out of the free box, and also in that free box there were lots and lots of textbooks. Now, I'm not really up on textbooks. I know university textbooks go really, really well. However, I'm pretty sure the books that I saw in this box were perhaps year 11 and 12 type stuff. I'm not, look, quote me on that, but that's what I think. And going by what a couple of other things I saw, and like the Philip Pullman library book is from the Melton College. So I'm guessing this someone went and donated all their books, school books, because they didn't want them anymore. But yeah, I think this will be quite good. You know, someone that went there over the years or had a connection to someone that went there would find that quite entertaining. It is sort of localised history, but hey, that's the sort of thing I buy. Then there was this 2015 UBD Street Directory. I don't know whether these sell as well as the Melways, but we'll see. I did pick up one of the textbooks just to see, and it'll give me a bit more of an idea. Again, if it were to look like these had any great value, I can go back and get them. This is called A World of Diversity. It was something a little bit different topic-wise to the other books. It's a student textbook for Religion and Society, Unit 1. You know, the trouble is with textbooks, you've got to be careful because there are editions that are just that little bit too old to be relevant, because say if there's been a new one every year, and this was published in 2015, and then there's been a new one in 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, etc. You know, like that's nearly 10 more things. So this starts to become obsolete. So there's sort of that band in between, because then keep waiting, and then there's books that are that much older that again become a bit more collectible because they've got information that current people studying and that don't have, because they're in older books, and so they will sell and the new stuff will sell, but sometimes those ones in the middle don't, which is why I didn't pick up all the free ones and only bought one home, which was that one. Now on to the last couple. Love this cover. This is probably my favourite cover out of all the June trilogy books, by Frank Herbert. This happens to be a first edition New English Library paperback. So I'm quite happy about that. And 77 off the top of my head. Yes, September 1977. And it is a noted first version. And it is in pretty good condition. These are always going to have some yellowing, discoloration. It's just the paper that they used at that time. 1970s paper stock was shocking, I have to say. Finally, we have this little beauty. Now, I actually got this because I was going to stick it on my bookshelf for me to keep. My mum's dad came over from Scotland and he was a great singer, and so were all his children, including my mum. And they all sang a lot. And when I had a flip through this in the shop, and there were a couple of the titles of the songs that I recognised, and I thought that might be nice to have. So I brought it home, only to discover that it's being sold. There's two currently listed, I think, somewhere around the $180 mark. So there you go. This one, I think, is a little bit darker, but it may just be the paper stock they use, because I did notice they had a different colour binding. Mine's blue, and I think the one that I saw was red, so I'm not sure. This may be a little bit older, who knows. But this is Lyric Gems of Scotland, a collection of the most admired Scottish songs, arranged with pianoforte accompaniment. Published by Bailey and Ferguson. Doesn't have a date, unfortunately, but if we open it up, it's got all the sheet music. The other thing I thought was, maybe one day I can play this. You know, I've still got the keyboard that I bought 2023, that I was going to learn to play a song by Christmas time in 2023 and still didn't learn to play it by 2024 Christmas time. So that's one of my goals for this year, is to actually learn to play at least one song on that keyboard by Christmas of 2025 and shock everybody. So yeah, so this is quite good. Now, it does have an issue inside because the front has actually detached from the page block, but that's no biggie. It has come away quite nicely. The page block is still nicely intact, and it is still nicely intact at the back. And as long as you're not being rough with it, then it's not going to come away from there. Needs a little bit of dusting. I don't know where in the hell this has been stored before, you know, rocked up in that op shop, but it is a great book. Look, I don't think I'm going to be able to get, you know, look, that $180 mark. So there's a couple of things. How badly do I want to keep it? I price it up then, and then wait for someone to pay my price. But, you know, if I can sell it for a reasonable amount, I think I will. I just need to work out, given the damage. Now, the other ones, I did notice that they are both coming away. They haven't totally detached, but there is some existing split in that front piece. So there was obviously a problem with that, with this particular publication. And it'll come down to, is my edition older than theirs, you know, and the overall condition. But even if mine was of equal condition, I still wouldn't sell it for that amount of money, because they've got theirs at $180. I would want to be selling mine, so I would price mine under. Now, the last one that sold was last year, and it sold for, I think, around about the $90 mark plus post. I would be pretty happy with that. I will price it over the $100, probably, and in the hopes that I can at least get $100 plus post. That is the end of my haul video. I will mark in the SKU. I will keep track, hopefully. I'm not sure whether my idea of what I'm going to do with my spreadsheet will work, but I'm about to go and ask my friend Chatty if he can work out formulas I need to put in to make this grab the information I want from one page and automatically bring it to the next, so that when I actually enter that particular SKU number, it will automatically take the information and the amounts and put it on a separate sheet. I'm pretty sure it's doable. I just haven't done that in Google Sheets before, so I'm just going to ask Chatty for some help with that one. And there we go. Thank you for watching, and wait for it. It won't be long and you'll be seeing another thrifting video, because that seems to be what people like. And now that I've worked out the view on the camera, I'm sure the next one will be much better. Bye now.